Based on our investigations, there's additional other people that may be arrested based on the information that we continue to receive on a daily basis.
All right, that was Clinton County District Attorney Andrew Wiley suggesting that the prison break investigation may lead to more arrests. Here to continue this conversation is Larry Levine. He's a former federal inmate who served time in 11 different prisons over 10 years. Also now the director and founder of Wall Street Prison Consultants, specializing in federal sentence reductions. Larry, thanks for being on. You were in 11 different prisons. What were you in for?
Narcotics trafficking, securities fraud, racketeering, obstruction of justice, and machine guns.
So you don't learn a lesson very quickly.
Well, it's not a matter of that. The Federal Bureau of Prisons moved me around a lot because I wasn't a disciplinary problem. I was a management problem. They didn't like the fact I was helping inmates with legal work and administrative issues.
Okay, so you know a lot about the prison system, and you take issue with some of the narrative that has come out of this investigation. For instance, you do not believe that these two inmates sawed their way out of the Clinton Correctional Facility. What do you think happened?
Absolutely not. If you take a look at the cuts on those steam pipes, they're too even. They're too neat. They wouldn't have had time to really do that. I mean, there's reports coming out now that they stole or they borrowed some power tools from outside contractors. If you look at the amount of time they would have had to have done that, because there's accountability on these tools, they would have had to have done it during the day while the tools were freely available. But during the day, they would be at their jobs. They would be working. They wouldn't be inside the walls cutting things.
Okay.
And at night, the tools would have already be checked back in and they would be locked down. So the timeline that's being put forth by the district attorney, it doesn't work. The tools would not have been accessible to them at night.
So your belief is that somebody on the outside helped them starting from the outside in. Now, what would be the motivation for somebody to help these two guys?
Money? Maybe they are going to do something for someone on the outside? I'm not real sure about that. They're master manipulators, but behind the wall inside the cell, they have the catwalk area. Again, look at the cuts. Somebody goes and prepares these cuts for them. The one at the other end where they popped out near the manhole, I mean, if you go with the theory that the government is putting on, these guys would have had to have cut this from the inside. There's no way they made a perfect hole to get out of that pipe from inside the pipe. It didn't happen. The manhole cover that was, what, 15 or 20 feet up? I mean, that thing weighs 150 pounds. There's no ladder in there. Somebody would have had to have climbed on somebody's shoulders and pushed up on it. They would have broken the person's back. So it's more likely they had help on the inside, and then on the outside, there was somebody out on the street that had already opened that manhole cover up, maybe put a chain ladder down or a ladder down. They jumped out of it, got in a car, and drove off, and what, 7 or 8 hours later, the prison realized they were missing. Takes time.
You know, Larry, there's another theory that you have that I find very interesting, and that is what happened once they came out of that manhole cover. If, in fact, their ride didn't show up, so Plan A didn't work, you have an idea of how people can get out of town fast. What is it?
Well, I mean, she's lucky she didn't show up because she's a weak link in the whole system. If it had been me, I'd have killed her, got rid of her quick. You know, she's unreliable.
Yeah, but your theory, I'm talking about your theory about at the gas station, that what you would have done.
Okay, the gas station. The bloodhounds tracked them to a gas station, and they lost the track there. These guys, again, had it been me, I would have jumped in the trash dumpster. Waited there. They probably already had a schedule because they did have help on the outside coordinating. I'm sure this lady got them in secure cell phones. They got in the trash dumpster, waited, trash truck picked the dumpster up. Boom, there's no landfills in the middle of nowhere where the prison is at. So the trash truck took that dumpster potentially hundreds, maybe thousands of miles away. They may have even put it on the back of a flatbed train that could be, thousands of miles away. I think that the government is putting on, I don't want to really call it a smoke screen. They can't pull all that law enforcement out of the local area, or people will think that they're doing nothing. But they're saying, well, gee, they could be here, they could be thousands of miles away. Yeah, no kidding. Right now, they don't really know what to do. They're grasping at straws.
Larry Levine, you have interesting theories. Very interesting to talk to you. We'll see what investigators come up with today. Thanks for being on New Day.
Glad I could be here.
If you have any information about these escaped inmates, please contact the U.S. Marshals tip line. Here's the number, 1-800-336-0102. Let's get to Chris.